The NBS has recently said that the country, Nigeria, is out of recession. And as an economist, do you agree with this claim?
Well, to some extent, I would say that I agree with that. And I will tell you the reason why we agree as an economist. You see, when you say you are out of recession, there are some indicators that you look at. A layman will look at his pocket. When you say you are out of recession, you wanted to know whether the bucket is still full as it used to full before. You look at the market situation regarding to demand and supply. Is something you used to buy at 30 naira, is it still at 30 naira or still at 90 naira as it used to be now? But in an economist analysis, we look at, when you talk of recession, you enter into recession if that country is experiencing what we call negative GDP in 2 consecutive quarters. The first quarter, the second quarter, your GDP is falling, it's negative. That is to say that that country is experiencing recession. Then when you say you're out of recession, you look at the GDP again. You look at GDP when it is negative, and you look at GDP when it is positive. Nigeria today, we look at the GDP is a little bit positive. Looking at the area of the crude oil and the area of agriculture. What do I mean by that crude oil? You will see that Nigeria, we so much believe in crude oil. And the time 2 years back, 2014, 2015, we experienced that of Niger Delta vandalizing our pipe oil, and it decreases the crude oil, and the production also decreases every day. Also, from 2 years back, you can see that the production is increasing, and that is where you look at your GDP. So it gives us more foreign reserve. That tells you the GDP is positive, recession is coming down. In the area of agriculture too, you look at even Nigeria today, I don't know if you are aware, we are exporting yam today. Unlike before, where we're crying, we don't have food. So a layman, farmer, he won't even tell you what is recession in farmer. He puts something down, something grows, and he invests and he makes his money. He never know whether you even collect salary or don't collect salary. He doesn't want to know because his own is flourishing. So to some extent, we are gradually coming out of recession from economic perspective.
Aside the statistics and the data, a lot of Nigerians don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, what used to be 30 naira is still 90 naira, even though we're out of recession. Why is this so?
Yes. You see, the problem we're having is not with the economy or the GDP, but the Nigerians themselves. You look at the cost of production, and that is where crude oil comes in too. Crude oil comes in the sense that Nigerian money is based on crude oil. So whatever you want to do, even the manufacturer, you need to import certain goods, then you now relate it to area of dollar. And that dollar, the ability to process or to get that dollar is vested on Central Bank of Nigeria. It will now tell you how they want to sell the dollar. So if the dollar now affects the importation, it's going to affect the production. Because normally, as a very good manufacturer producer, you want to maximize your profit and minimize your cost of production. So in an attempt to maximize your profit, you increase the price of that production because you look at what you use in producing that commodity. So that is what is affecting Nigeria for now. But when you look at it generally, looking at the GDP, the gross domestic product, will tell you we are getting out of recession because our foreign reserve is increasing, the crude oil is moving, the agriculture is moving, then other sector will now start following. It wasn't, we never come into a recession a day. It's just gradual. So we get out of it gradually.
Aside from life as an economist, let's look at you as a family man. Before this recession, how were you faring? And now that they say the country's out of recession, how are you faring?
Well, let me tell you, you look at 2 concepts. The MPC and the MPS. The marginal propensity to save and marginal propensity to consume. The MPS is too low. You find it is when you have a lot of money and you are able to do certain things, the reserves of what you have is what you save. But the little one you are receiving is not even up to what can take your family. Then what are you saving? So MPS will be decreasing while MPC will be increasing. Consumption every day. You need to eat. Whether you like it or not, your children will say, we want to buy Indomie and we want to eat yam. Daddy want to. They don't want to know about recession. They are flashing back to what they have been using before. Daddy, are we not going to take egg with our Indomie? I said, come on. Indomie these days, they've added egg to it. It wasn't like that, but you also want to put them down because of recession. So, as a family man, if I want to go as a family man, I will tell you that it's not all that out of a recession. And that's why I say we are coming out of that recession gradually. It's not all that. It's not all that because the palm oil is still selling at the rate of what you want to buy it before. The groundnut oil, I don't want to mention stores, the bread, you see people queuing as if they want to take their visa or want to go for passport. I don't want to mention that name of that outfit where you see people queuing to buy bread. I said, what is wrong with us? He said, we want to buy bread. I don't just say bread outside. They say, no, we love this one. Let's buy this one. At what rate? Just simple money. They will say 999 and 33 kobo. Look at that significant changes. But that is mentality for us.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar stated that if Nigerians truly were out of recession, then Nigerians should be able to afford 3 square meals per day. Now, is being able to afford 3 square meals per day an indicator that the country is out of recession?
It's never an indicator.
Why so?
Yes. I can afford to eat 4, 5 a day.
In recession?
In a recession. It depends on how you plan it. I can take little bread in the morning. That is 1. In the afternoon, I can take gari. That is 2. Around that 4:30, I can go for beans and put small gari there. Is that not 3? And at night I can decide to take a co and a mama. Is that not 4? I've taken 4, my sister. If you want to go by way of number. But let me tell you, see, the scenario is this. When you say you want to take the 3 square meal, what you look at taking 3 square meal is, are they balanced diet? It is when they are balanced diet, you say you are not taking 3 square meal a day. When you want to consider the country today, you look at per capita income. The per capita income is too low. At least a Nigerian cannot afford to say a day he can spend, let's say, $10. I remember when my brother came down to Nigeria here some 2 weeks back, I went to visit him with the children. I was boasting that I made money. So, you know what the funniest thing? I brought out 200 naira, 5 pieces, which is 1,000 naira. That I know at least this is okay. I gave that little girl. He said, thank you, uncle. But this one is not up to £2 in UK. So you can't even take my transport. I say, from your mouth. My 1,000 naira. Can you see? That is where we are heading to. And we need to ginger up. The article that was saying that, what was his own action when he was the vice president of Nigeria? Why can't you do that where you say, is it because you are trying to come back here and say you want to become president? That is the time you are now saying it's not good. Why can't you do it? And even you have done it, you say, you refer back. During my own time, at least I also do this. But you can't refer. So I don't believe in what he's trying to say. You can call that one political jargons.
What's your analysis of the Nigerian economy?
As how?
Under the Buhari regime?
Yes, I can tell you, Nigerian economy is very strong. A layman will not know, but an economist will tell you the economy is very strong. Strong in the sense that loopholes have been blocked. Unlike before, you see money, you say, but we are digging a grave. And the moment you dug it to the last head there, you put your leg there, you just see yourself, you just go inside that grave. The grave has been dug for long. But thanks to Buhari administration, it was able to mend some areas.
This hardship is for the betterment of Nigerians?
Let me tell you, before you get in there, you need to suffer. That is just it. Rome was not built in a day. You need to sacrifice. And we are making the sacrifice now. In those days, in 1960, 1961, or thereabout, they made a lot of sacrifice, Awolowo's and all that. How many houses did they build that time? How many cars do they have that time? What the sacrifice? But some of them, before they even die, they enjoyed the sacrifice they made. And they are still enjoying it today. So we need to... This thing has been destroyed for years. So it can never be built in a day. So we need to make a lot of sacrifice. And that is what we are doing. And that's what you are doing too. And I believe we will all make it.
Yeah, sure. The issue of the Paris Fund, the Paris Club refund, we know that it's to help governors, state governments to be able to pay off backlogs of salaries. But so far, we've observed that there's been a mismanagement along the line. So from an economist's point of view, how do you think that we can ensure that this mismanagement somehow is stopped?
You look at those states. What is their development in terms of growth? Most of these states are not growing economically because they are predominantly civil service states. They don't have industries, they don't have companies that can be bringing them money, can never be compared with Lagos State. Lagos State, for example, have what we call Lake Rice, that is Lagos and Kebbi Rice. It's one of those things. How many states can do that? They can't afford to do that because we give them money, they lavish the money. They are so much egocentric, self-centered. They never think of other citizens that are living in there. Go to some of these states, you see the kind of life people are living there. I don't want to even mention states, but I just don't want to mention. I've been to a state, Southwest here, where some of the civil servants by the road, they will show you their ID cards. Say, please, we are working, so we did not pay us salary for the past 6 months, so please assist us. So civil servant turned to a beggar. And you are laughing and you call yourself a governor. That is bad. That is bad. It's inhuman. It's not acceptable.
So as an economist, how do you think that we can put an end to this?
Yes. First thing you look at, the area of corruption needs to be dealt with very well, without fear or favor. If you want to cancel corruption and you are still pardoning and you are not helping situation, most of these governors some of them needs to be arrested and prosecuted. I don't stand to be corrected. I don't stand to be corrected at all. Because they are the managers and they are mismanaging the money. Ask them every month. They should be giving the state how they spend the money. It's not their own money, for God's sake. It's meant for these people. So do they give it to them? The education sector is bad. The health sector is nothing to write home about. Talk of agriculture, zero. And this is what gave the Southwest money in those days. Cocoa. Look at Cocoa House in Ibadan. It was built with cocoa money. And then the first stadium in Nigeria, that is Liberty Stadium in Ibadan, by cocoa money. Talk of a first television station, NTA Ibadan. First radio in Ibadan. Don't say I'm only mentioning Ibadan. That was the Western region. But at the same time, they use the money and people see what they use the money for. The money they are collecting today can never be compared with the ratio of the money they collect that time. That time they may say they have a 20,000 naira. It's like billions. But today, see what they are talking, trillion. Somebody collecting 27 trillion naira. Trillion. My sister, 27 trillion can serve a country for 4 years. Then look at the number of the population we have. Let's say we have 180 or 190 in Nigeria. Give all of us 10 million naira. We still have trillions left there. And an individual swallowing that one.
Do you think that the federal government needs to put a stop to the release of Paris Club refund?
It's not necessarily they put a stop there, but it needs to be checked and monitored. If I give you 30 naira, say, this 30 naira, in the next 2 weeks, I want to see how you spend that money. But I will give you instruction. This is where I want you to spend it. If you decide to spend it out of this, you'll be prosecuted. Then they'll be shaken.
Finally, now that we're out of recession, what's next for the Nigerian economy?
Yeah, the Nigerian economy will be booming. It all depends on how ready we are. How ready we are in the sense that the area of the civil servants, the agriculture, the crude oil, are we ready to move Nigeria forward? Because sometimes some people will say, let's move it up. Some will say, no, it's coming down. If those that are saying it's coming down are more than those that are taking it up, it's something we're going down. Because they will not be frustrating your effort. Nigeria needs to unite together. We should be our brother's keeper. By so doing, the economy will be booming. And if the economy is booming, all of us will really enjoy it, including our children. But if we decide to destroy the country, we are not only destroying the country, but we are destroying the life of the next 10 generations yet unborn. And they will never pray for us when they come.
Welcome to Forestville Luxury Hotel. At Forestville Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit Forestville Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeline Bamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Festac, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.forestvillehotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. Forestville Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.